Hello, everyone. I am Sandra O'Neill, and I am your host for the day to friends and neighbors. And I want to let you know we're going to have a fantastic show. You know, when life gets difficult, when life gets dark, we're going to be talking to an author who wrote just about that. Letters to God from the Soul of Jermaine Reaves. He's going to be sharing his God story. But right now, I would love to share a song with you and encourage you to worship Jesus because he is the only one that can bring light into our darkness. You were the Word in the beginning, one with God the Lord Most High. Your inner glory in creation, now revealed in you, our Christ. What a beautiful name it is. What a beautiful name. Hello, thank you for joining us and coming back with us on Friends and Neighbors. Today, we're going to be talking about life. And sometimes life takes us in journeys that are hard and difficult, and even to a journey where darkness can come in. But the only way we can get through it is through the light of Jesus Christ. And I am delighted today to be sitting with author Jermaine Reaves. He is the author of Letters to the Lord, from the Soul of Jermaine Reaves. Yes. Jermaine, thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely.
Oh, I absolutely love your title. It flows well, and I'm sorry I said God instead of the Lord, but I am so delighted to have you here. You're originally from Georgia, and that's hard to meet, like a native Georgian, here, especially here around Atlanta.
Exactly, and then coming from Milledgeville, Milledgeville only but so big, and to be an author,
yes,
it's truly a blessing.
Oh, well, you know what? I would love for you to tell us your story and how God, the journey that God has, that you have traveled, has made much of God, and how your soul has been healed through the letters.
Like she said, my name is Jermaine Reaves. I'm from Milledgeville, Georgia. And the journey about my life is that, you grow up in certain areas in the world, where a lot of struggles come in, and we make bad decisions, instead of in the moment of our struggles, we know how to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Because sometimes struggle could be overbearing. But, it's just like me, myself, I grew up in a single mother home, where my mama raised 2 kids. So me, myself, my love from not my father, I had to go to the streets to get it. Mm-hmm. And in the process of me in the streets, I sold drugs, was into a lot of violence, been shot 2 times. And that what the book tell you, been shot 2 times and things like that. But through the grace of God, I'm here. Mm. And, because they had, said that I was gonna make it to C21. But the devil is a lie. I'm 45 years old.
Yes, praise Jesus, and you're here writing an awesome, awesome book.
Absolutely.
And it says, from the windows of inspiration through the revelation of incarceration, letters to the Lord from the soul of Jermaine Reaves. Now, it says here, volume 1.
Absolutely.
So tell us about that.
Well, the book started, I did, like I said, bad choices, and me into a federal prison for a 10-year sentence. Mm. And so in the midst of my prison sentence, a couple years rolled by, so I started writing letters to the Lord. And then once you understand the title of the book, From the Windows of Inspiration, when you're looking out into the prison, it's like you can just look out into the window and just see the yard. Mm-hmm. Where other inmates at. But when I looked out into the window, I seen on the outside of the prison. Mm. Because when you're in prison, once you're in the midst of it, and your mind get locked up, then that's when you're in trouble.
Sure.
So in my process of my incarceration, I gave my life to the Lord. And once I gave my life to the Lord, I still started learning about who I am. Learning about why I'm in prison. Because sometimes you got to go through something. Yes. Even though you ain't gonna like to go through where God take you at, but it'll get you where you need to be at.
Yes.
So I started writing the book, the book based on me writing letters to the Lord about the revelation of incarceration, which were teaching me things about myself, things about family,
yes,
things about people in and out of prison, things about the officer, and just about life and changes that I need to make to be the man that I'm is today.
It's interesting how God, like you said here, we never know where life will take us. And sometimes we must spend time in the darkness before God shows us the light.
Absolutely.
And I love that part. You know, as we start growing up in those formative years, it's hard to be able to handle conflict. And you can lash out with violence or with doing the best that you can to try to resolve it. Good Lord, I'll tell you this now as an adult, it's hard to deal with conflict as well,
Exactly.
but by the grace of God, like you said.
Yes.
So my question though to you is, did you know did you set out to write a book while you were in prison, or was it one of those moments, because when you become saved, and welcome to the family of God, by the
Absolutely.
way.
I embrace it.
Angels rejoice, and I rejoice as a fellow Christian with
Yes,
you. But when you're in prison and you're starting your faith walk in prison, taking that moment, how did you start learning more and more about God, and how did he respond to letters? Did God respond back to your letters?
Absolutely. And then the thing about that, it reminds you of the Joseph story.
Yeah.
You know, from the pit to the palace, and
Yeah.
what Joseph went through from, like you said, in the dark place, and then when his brother threw him in the hole, and then they sold him to slavery, and then, you know, and the thing what happened to him when he had to go to prison. So in my moment of my incarceration, you know, when you're in prison, you make a lot of promises until the doors open up. You feel what I'm saying? So,
Yes.
so it was just like a sincere thing, because the book, you know, like it tell you in the front of the beginning of the book, it's like it not been edited, got misspelled words, running in center, but it was
It's
led
real.
by the Holy Spirit. And,
Yes.
you know, and that was important for me. So during my journey, I got real close to the Lord, because, you know, when you're incarcerated, people turn it back on you. They ain't beginning to happen for real, you know? And that's another part of my other book, when we telling you about what really goes on in the prison, because prison like another world, a part of the world.
Yes.
Where folks ain't gonna really, you know, some people won't never get that witness what really goes on in there. But through the grace of God, I really found myself, and it really changed me. It really took me to some places that, you know, loneliness, some places where tears and things, and it just really stressed me out to let me know that, you know, I can change, you know, even though it take this, but
Yes.
it really was for a reason.
A God is a God of a second chance, third chance,
Absolutely.
fourth chance. He's a merciful with grace. Now, I want to know about your book. So is your book complete letters that you wrote on your day-to-day? Does it share anything about, is it an autobiography where it tells you more about your life, or just you're writing letters and this kind of goes through your life?
Yeah, it tell you a little part of some details about my life, and just some stages that I went. My beginning stages of me writing letters to the Lord, and why I started writing letters to the Lord. I got into a little trouble, you know, in prison, you know, due to a little conflict I had. And what they did, they sent me to a place called the Powerhouse, where that you control all the lights around in the prison. And ain't nobody there but me and the machines and the little animals and things running around out there, you know. So God spoke to me, you know, I was praying, shed a couple of tears or whatever the case may be. And God started, you know, talking to me, and I just started writing everything, you know, asking God questions, and he was responding back, and I just put it inside a book.
Oh my goodness. Well, you know, Jermaine, it's an example of what I think of when Jesus died on the cross for us.
Absolutely.
He
Yes.
left and he's resurrected. He's a living king sitting on the right side of God.
Amen.
He did not leave us orphaned. He left us with
right.
the Holy Spirit. So you being saved, the Holy Spirit sitting there with you, penning that, what's in your heart, what's in your heart. And if you don't mind, there's this one brief letter here. Do you mind if I read that real quickly? It says, "Dear Lord, it is truly a blessing, and I am so grateful to be saved, to be renewed, and in preparation in this Christian journey, being incarcerated for years, to understand the knowledge and wisdom from the Spirit of the Lord, that now dwell in me to become what you want for me, to be in this world from this incarceration and being in a relationship with you, Lord. So, Lord, please continue to allow me the mind and heart to strive in this Christian journey forever. Love always, your beloved child, Jermaine Reaves. That's powerful.
Absolutely.
That is a powerful, and I look at these letters as a prayer.
Right.
It seems like each letter that you're doing is a prayer of renewal.
Yes. And as you continue to read the book and go on, it start, you know, when you get into a relationship with the Lord, when you start maturing and God started revealing some more things about life and things, and that's what it about. It was just me and my sacred moments. Mm-hmm. You know, in the moment of hurt, pain, loneliness, like I said, and just had to face reality about, you know, I went to prison in 2001. I get a paper, it said that I don't get out until 2009. Yeah. So that's a whole reality thing for me, like, man, I'm even gonna be able to see 2009.
Right.
So let me get myself, let me see what life really about in a relationship with the Lord, and that what happened.
How have you seen the Lord work in your life now that you're out?
Wow, and you know, and if people got to understand that this book was written inside of prison. I've been out of prison 11 years, and the thing that God have allowed me to do is do outreach ministry, go into the neighborhoods and being able to break the bread of life to the young generation who heading into the same footstep I took. You know, I even had the opportunity to go back into the prison system. I got guys around me who've been on death row. I gave them hope.
Yes.
The book really didn't inspire a whole section of people that the world don't even understand and know about. And it's just truly a blessing because, you know, it took a while for it to manifest, but when you believe in God, it don't matter how long it takes, it will happen if it were predestined.
You're absolutely right. And walking in the calling and being obedient and watching God work. So that is a very important lesson that a lot of people are learning. So when you go back to the prison now to minister, to encourage, how, first of all, how does that make you feel?
Oh, Lord. The first time I went in there, you know, the guy asked me, man, why you walking so slow? I said, man, you know. And once I got into it where they wanted me to speak, it was 50 inmates waiting on me. So you know how they looking at you.
Yes.
I was like, you know, but I told them, y'all don't even know how I feel to be standing up here in regular clothes, not getting out of a police car, not getting off a bus and handcuffs and shackles on my ankle. And once I said that, they stood up like, he might know what he talking about. Once I said my prayer, came out of prayer, boom. I just told them what I've been through. You know, I've been here. You know, and not just one time, I've been here, you know, in and out all my life. You know, I gave these people like 16 years out of my life, and I'm 45 years old. But I told them that, you know, God will change you if you really want to. When God put his hands on you, it really a blessing.
It's the realness of the Lord, right?
Absolutely.
And people want real. They want realness. They want rawness. They don't want something superficial. Nobody wants that.
Sure don't.
God is a God that shows his love in and out, in and through us, so then we can then help others. Now, how can people reach you? We're going to be coming back. We're going to go on a quick break, but I want, before we do that, how can people reach you if they want to hear more about your story?
Well, you know, I got my contact information is, you know, 478-451-9054. And then I got a website, www.readj.wix.com/coach. You know, I'm also a personal trainer once you go to the website, you know, you can be able to see how to get books. And you might want a personal trainer or whatever the case may be. But you also can get the book Our Universe.
Awesome. Well, we're going to be coming back with you. We're still going to be talking more, but I wanted people to know your contact because there may be a parent out there, someone out there that needs to speak with Jermaine. But right now, we're going to be taking a quick break, and we'll see you when you come back.
Okay. Thank you.
Hello, welcome back to Friends and Neighbors, and we're having a very good conversation with Jermaine Reaves, a really in-depth, a soul-searching conversation. Letters to the Lord from the soul of Jermaine Reaves. And Jermaine, thank you for being bold and standing for what God has done in and through your life. We've been talking about how you started writing these letters, but I want to know how you got saved.
Well, how I got saved is that, my first year, I was like, well, I'm gonna have to talk this thing out, on my own manpower or whatever. Then there was a little young guy, kept talking about, why don't you come to Bible study, man? Why don't you do this? You got a lot of, talent on the basketball court. But make a long story short, he came, gave me a Bible. I started opening it up every now and then, still shedding tears of the moment of what I gotta do. And so he introduced me to a guy, I think he was a pastor. And I went to one of their Bible studies in prison where, the guy got it together. They were praying and I had an encounter. And that day I gave my life to the Lord, but did things get better? In so many different ways. It gave me a perspective that I can make it. I can make it.
Yes.
Because I got somebody who's gonna help me.
Yes.
Whoever turned their back on me, I still got the Lord, because he ain't going
Hallelujah.
nowhere.
That's right.
So, things got better, but things still, you gotta face life when you're incarcerated. Because people got to federalize. You can't go turn your TV in prison. You can't go to your refrigerator in prison.
Right.
You can't go to your kitchen and sit down and eat when you want to. So that's important for all the parents to instill some of these things in their kids who out there, on that road to get incarcerated, because incarceration changing day by day and day by day, and it ain't getting better. And then they giving out longer sentences. They doing this and that. So, and then in the process of that, on my way out of prison, I had an encounter where it ain't nothing but God, because I'm sitting here, I wouldn't be sitting here today if it wouldn't happen.
So tell me what happened.
So me and this guy, we had an altercation, and we had a little scuffle. But, this guy was like a bully, running in the prison, bullying people. I don't like bullies. And even though I'm a man of God, I got to stand up for what's right. So I told him one day, I said, listen, man, you're wrong for what you do. But make a long story short, man, I had an altercation, and like 2 weeks later, after the altercation, they ran into the dorm, which, it's like 150 people's in the dorm. So everybody wake up out their sleep, They go pull a knife out they got locker. To my long knife, one of them Jason knives, so they locked them up, took them on, and to the hole or whatever. So everybody run over that, man, you all right, man? What that was for? What that knife for you? And such and such. I said, man, I don't know. So a couple of weeks later, I got like about 2-3 weeks left. So with the guy, I was walking around the track on the yard, getting my thought together, what I'm gonna do, anxiety kick in. I've been going 8.5 years almost. But, he stopped me and set me down. He said, Brother Reed, let me talk to you about something. Say, you're a good brother. You helped a lot of people in prison and this and that. So he was telling me, like, man, that knife that they got out of the guy locker? He like, man, that was meant for you.
Oh, wow, the protection of the Lord.
He said that the guy paid him to put it in my locker, but he put it in his locker.
Wow.
So that's just the favor that the Lord had on my life. to
Yes.
be able to be seen here, because if that would have happened,
Yes.
I'd be getting out in 2024 instead of 2009.
Jermaine, I have to tell you, your encounters with the Lord and how He has protected you is powerful. Thank you for writing this letter.
Yes.
And I want to thank you for tuning in and get to know Jermaine Reaves and his letters to the Lord from his soul. It will encourage you. Thank you for joining us on Friends and Neighbors. We'll see you next time.